your validation for your talent should come in reality, which is either from the agency that takes you out or the client that gives you work. Unfortunately, it's become like, I am this on social media, hence I'm validated.
Yes.
Fuck you.
But now when you have to turn out around 100 posts a month on 3 different clients, then that templatization becomes your shortcut.
I was reading this somewhere which said a trend is like a wave, right? Choose the right wave to surf on. Don't jump on every wave that's coming there, right?
A lot more people are getting attracted to it because unlike an Instagram, here when you get even small amount of fame, you get some sort of conversion of it. Maybe you get like connected to the right people, you can get you a job, you can get you the work, etc., etc. Hi guys, welcome to the 4th episode. I am so glad that you all are part of this. I am the host, Simble Johnny, and I've been in the ad industry for almost 8+ years now. I've recently made the jump to a freelance life, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. This podcast is done with the intention of getting people together and discussing the things that they do and how it impacts their life. You all are known for expressing your thoughts on LinkedIn, and that's why you're here. To represent the creator economy that it is, and to discuss how the good and bad of it affects your life, affects your personal life, affects your professional life. There are going to be different segments that we have here, but before that, I would love for all of you to introduce yourselves, and then we can move from there.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Shantesh Rao. My mom calls me Shantesh, everyone else calls me Shanti, so just call me Shanti. I've been in advertising 25 years now, and the last 7 years I've been running my really small shop from a small city called Dubai with an even smaller set of clients and even smaller work, which makes me very small and insignificant in the whole scheme of things. But yeah, that's what it is. And I'm not a copywriter.
Not a copies writer. Okay, totally buying that. Thank you for introducing yourself, Shanti.
So hi guys, I am Jay. I am working as a creative director at a small agency called Oktobuzz. And that's about it. Even I am not a copies writer, thankfully so.
Hi guys, I'm Manoj, but I go with alter ego called Jonam Bocaj, which is the reverse of Manoj Jacob. And I have been a copywriter / creative director now for about 24 and a half years. And I am right now with this agency called Crayons. It's like a huge shift for me because I moved from a network setup to an independent setup. And it's kind of a good thing, I suppose. And I've just moved to Delhi and I'm getting a little mind fucked with that.
Already.
So what we are going to do is we're going to start with the first segment. It's called Banga Influencer. There's this certain, what do I say? A certain stigma attached to this word influencer now. It's become the keyword of the century, so to speak, right? There's an influencer in every nook and corner. Everyone who, posts something thinks that they've become an influencer. You guys have been expressing your opinions for quite some time, and people like them, not like them. All of that is separate. But what's it been like for you? Because LinkedIn as a platform itself is not something that's Instagram, right? It's a much more professional platform. There are people who are in your professional network that can see what you're saying. So does that stop you from saying that things that you want to? Does it impact the way your professional life is, or people in your professional space see you now? Has that changed for you? So what's been it like for you? It could be any specific experience that you have that you wish to share, but just around this journey of yours that's been around being a creator on LinkedIn.
I'll take it on. So basically I've been on LinkedIn for 12 years now, close to. Yeah. And for 11 years I didn't do shit on LinkedIn, honestly. I kept LinkedIn at the side thinking that's just going to be a job site, right? Job platform. So it's like my profile is there and some idiot will eventually contact me and get me a job. It's never happened ever. So surprisingly, and I was more on Instagram, to be honest, and even there I was not very active. I'm not a social kida of sorts. So Instagram was essentially where I put a little bit of my writing or my poetry or whatever. But apart from that, most of my writing is for myself. Right? I don't really put it out there. But very honest, I mean, to goodness thing, a client told me at the start of this year that, why don't you fucking post on LinkedIn? Because you have this wicked sense of humor, his opinion, not mine, and put it out there. And, so I had the same question. I said, why on LinkedIn? I mean, come on, man, everyone's going to judge me, etc., etc. And then I said, fuck it, who cares if I've never bothered about being judged, right? So I put it up. I started being regular, if you call, I hate that word consistent. So I started being regular and posted. One thing led to the other. And I honestly don't like this word influencer either. It's you see, your intention of being on any social platform, if it's clear from the get-go, it's fine. Yeah. If you're out there to get followers and to get that fucking 10x engagement and to get that 13 crore shit and to convert your minions into this follower set, go for it, man. Go for it. It's fine. That's your prerogative. My prerogative is completely different. My prerogative started off saying that I'm going to use this platform to unwind, technically, but from an advertising perspective. So I started posting a mix of what I call things. I never looked at it. I took it organically. God, that other word, organically. I just fucking posted what I wanted to post, man. And they just fucking went wherever it's supposed to go. And yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. I get up every morning and I interact with especially Jonam, who is bonkers on his. I look forward to about 10 or 15 people really ripping it off on LinkedIn, and that gives me my kicks every morning. It helps me on my potty, and then the whole day goes through. Yeah, from there. Yeah. So that's why I'm on LinkedIn. Otherwise, who cares, man? Honestly, really, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Tomorrow you leave LinkedIn, also nobody will care. Honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now, but I feel that. So, do you feel that, have you ever come across any client on LinkedIn and has it turned in a different way? Because I always felt that, when you put certain insights out there, when you write, obviously they come from personal experiences and, does somebody take offense on, okay, are you referring to this or something of that has happened?
So, I'll be honest, in my case, people know me. Those who know me know the way I am in personal life, right? So to hell with what they think about me on LinkedIn. They tell me on my face what I am, right? So I have never been trolled, if you were to call it that, on LinkedIn, either by clients or even by normal people. I mean, of course, you get the odd comment which is random and the odd hate sometimes, if you call it hate. But you see, I put it out there and I interact. I really interact. Honestly, I put a lot of time into my interaction. I do reply to every comment, and that hard work I put in. But I don't do it out of any pressure on myself, nor of for any favor. It doesn't affect me. I'm there to put my mind out, to receive something in return, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, and go from there. In fact, most of my clients love it. I have, see, this whole thing about personal branding, right? It has helped me. There's nothing called a personal brand, but clients do like what I do, and they say, can you do something like this for us? That becomes tricky. That is the worst part, actually. I said, I can't do that for you. That is not what I'm doing for myself. Yeah. What I want to do for you, you give me a brief, put your budget on the table, we'll talk. So then that's how it is.
Okay, so I joined LinkedIn so long back there was Rise, right? I think Shanti might know Rise.
I know that.
Yeah, so a whole bunch of us were on Rise, okay, for no bloody reason. We were there looking for plumbers and all of that. Okay, we just generally there on Rise. Okay, then LinkedIn came in. So everyone, okay, let's all make a LinkedIn profile. So we all made a LinkedIn profile, and that was it. Done. LinkedIn done, dusted. Okay. All our lives, I mean, like otherwise I would be on Facebook and stuff like that. I was doing that shit. And on Facebook, it used to be just random posts, random jokes, usual stuff, right? And then I got banned on Facebook and Instagram. Right?
Wow.
So that happened.
What
So
were you
I was,
spam?
I was kind of trolling a person who was a little connected, right? So I was doing that. It was good fun, right? So I was doing that. And then I got banned. So it was a lifetime ban. And then the pandemic hit, right? After the pandemic hit, I was wondering what to do with my life. And then I saw LinkedIn. Okay. And people are suddenly like posting on LinkedIn. So I said, okay. So 2020 was sort of my serious one post on LinkedIn, right? And serious as in it was a post on LinkedIn. And then it's all just been, I mean, you guys have seen my posts, right? There is no structure, there's no thought. I don't sit and think or do some intense work because for me, LinkedIn is like more of a break, right? I just come there to cut loose, right? Because I am doing quite a bit of work which requires all that, right? So I rather put it there than come on LinkedIn and do some major stuff. So I just come on LinkedIn, rave, rant, make memes, do whatever, and push off. And if you notice, there are days when there'll be like on 10 posts from me,
Yeah.
and there are days when there are no posts, right? So that eventually depends on my schedule. And usually my posts are late in the night when I'm done with work. So that's LinkedIn for me. But what it has done is, yes, people have noticed what I'm doing, right? This job which I'm working in right now, Crayons, the person who approached me, Samir Tatar, approached me through LinkedIn only because he's been seeing me and I've been interacting with him. So he said, hey, we seem to have the same wavelength maybe. So we kind of, that's how I got this job. And then I left my family and went out to Delhi, right? So LinkedIn took me away from my family.
Oh my God. That's a big impact.
Yeah, my old mom and dad are all alone because of LinkedIn.
That's a sad story. That's a sad moral of the story.
Minus 10x engagement from the family.
Now, Manoj, if you want some engagement, post this as a motivational story on LinkedIn itself.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I went away from my family to pursue my dream job,
yeah.
and in 1 year I have scaled so much. Got a $1 billion investment, funding, I don't know, whatever.
I left my mom's and dad's Crayons to join Crayons in Delhi. Too bad.
Yeah, but there have been people who have told me a lot of times. Some of my ex-bosses have told me, hey, dude, your posts might offend people. Your posts might not have another job. Your posts can piss people off. And there have been some people who come on my DM and say, I wanted to like your post, but I didn't like, because my other kids are looking at it. So that's also happened. So I told him, can I take a screenshot of this and pull it up without your name? But that guy said no. So I kind of said, okay. So that's the thing, right? I mean, I'm just myself over there also. So I would rather work for people or connect with people who like me for what I have to say, right? Instead of just going somewhere and changing your entire personality. And too old to do that also, no? Yeah.
You made the biggest sacrifice for LinkedIn, which is leaving your family already. So
you can have this chat with your Uber driver tomorrow.
Yeah.
Twice as
No, I want to have a chat with the Mallu about LinkedIn.
And by the way, you didn't want this conversation to be in Hindi. You are in Delhi. How do you talk to people there?
Because I speak to people who, if they know Hindi, I'm in Hindi land right now, so I will speak with them, right? But I want this on my terms.
As Uber drivers are on your terms.
No, on this call, I'm on my terms. Uber driver, I'm on their terms.
Uber driver, you're on his terms, no?
His terms. That is okay. Uber driver is different. Simble Johnny is different.
We were not going to have this in Hindi.
And Uber driver crying is going to get in 1,000 likes. You crying will not get him any likes. No, I think I agree with both Shanti and Manoj here. So for me, posting on LinkedIn started, during the pandemic only, when there was a sudden rise in the number of people posting over there. And I kind of just joined the bandwagon. But for me, the purpose at that point of time was very, very simple, and it was a lot to do with what I was going through at the time, which is at my workplace, at the workplace I was working at. Work-life balance had taken a hit. We were working odd hours. There were some management issues here and there. So what was happening is that I was realizing that if people at a certain mid-level or a senior level, they don't speak up and they don't voice their opinion, or let's just put it in a better way, if people at mid-level or senior levels do speak up, then it empowers the junior people to also voice their opinion and to speak up. So it kind of just gave me that I just spoke up once, and a lot of people messaged me at that point of time कि नहीं, ये जो बोल रहे हो आप सही बोल रहे हो, what you're saying is correct. So I just started, and even you have been, Simple, from what I know, actively propagating about that. So I just started posting with that, and it was more about using the platform to point out certain issues collectively as an industry we might be going through. And then, of course, a lot of changes. What has happened as a result of it is that at least where I am going and wherever I am working, people have that context to me. So in that way, it has helped कि भाई ये आ रहा है तो ये he will demand these things. These are his boundaries. And thankfully, the team members that I would be working with, they also somewhere feel secure कि okay, this person is like. So it just probably has set that impression for me, which has both negative and positive consequences as well. Generally, the team members, the people at the agency side of things, they feel fine, and they're okay with it. Clients, I have felt sometimes get intimidated if they have that context to me, but I mean, it's okay. It's like you have to manage it. And I have invited a few taunts here and there. मतलब एक बार ऐसा हुआ था कि client was giving certain feedback, and I peculiarly remember this. It was a long call, one of those 2-hour calls, 3-hour calls or whatever. So he was giving feedback, and it was a very serious call so far. And at one point, he gave us feedback on one of the creatives we had made, and then he said, जय अभी ये फीडबैक दे रहा हूँ, I know it doesn't make sense to you, LinkedIn के ऊपर पोस्ट मत बना देना इसका. So I mean, that is okay. I mean, you just have to take it on the chin and move on.
No, but because I remember at the time when you started posting, I was also posting, and we were posting about similar things, and that's why we sort of like mutual friends discussing that you and Jay are putting the people that we know, right? And so Sunny specifically, he would.
Yeah, let's mention the bugger, shall we? Yeah, hi Sunny.
Right, so he would also talk about this, and I remember at that time, a lot of people from the agencies had started, like, the places that I've worked in, they would like corner me on calls. Okay, they would be like, "Acha, you're gonna tag us now? Are you gonna say like stuff to us?" And it would be so awkward because I just wouldn't know. But after a while, I started realizing that I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like say it anyway, and my client started responding on one of my threads, and when we would give him feedback, he would just mention it on the call that oh, Simple, seems like you have a lot of things to say on LinkedIn, and one of the things clients, he just gave it back. He responded on the LinkedIn thread. So a lot of people told me that it's going to be very difficult for you because you're not going to get work. If you speak like this, or you go against the system, so to speak, because I was very unapologetically speaking about what was going wrong, and so were you in a lot of ways. We were saying similar things at that point in time, but I think now, I think this is last year or something. No, this was last year, but I think
last year, 2020, na?
2020. Yes, this was 2020, and so like now I see so many people talking about a lot of things. Like, so I got to know about Shanti on LinkedIn when I saw him, and you and Devarg had also done some spec ad, right? And
unfortunately, okay, I'll speak about it.
Yeah,
Zip,
please,
zip right
because
now.
it blew
I'll
out.
come to
Like
I'll
everyone was
come
talking
to
about
that.
it.
I'll come to that. Wait.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I had congratulated Devarg on the very first thing that I think, when it initially started, I really loved it because spec ads are really good. But afterwards, I think it became a lot. But I hadn't even I wanted to, but I could not find the time to make that spec ad that I wanted to make. So I
So
couldn't
I think
make.
if you want a quick rebut right now and get it out of the window, I think it was a great idea, spontaneous, great idea, which has
Yeah.
just got completely ram-rolled and steamrolled into nothingness. And it has become a joke now. I mean, I'll just put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So as I said, it was a very quick thing, and at that point of time, I couldn't participate. And then I think we got quite an overload of it. And I mean, otherwise, it was a good idea. And I had messaged Deva. Deva used to work with me. Just for context, we were working at Shebang. So I had said, it's a nice thing. I wish I could participate, but by that time, that train had left the station, so I couldn't participate in the very first spontaneous idea part of it. Then afterwards, it kept on going and all of that. So anyway, sorry, your question, Simple.
Yeah. So no. So I was talking about how. So I first saw each of you in the sense of what you were doing, and all of you were doing something very different. And Jonam also. I saw him and Shanti just like doing something or the other on like the comments, on each other's posts. That's how I got to know how their style of writing or expressing themselves, and they were just like they said, they was plainly having fun. Like there's no intention to it, in the sense of, okay, I have to stand for this or say this or that, or them majorly taking people's cases here or there, or just like being sarcastic, about things. But I felt that, so I was trying to understand that, when you are in that scenario, when are with these people, and we spent quite some time on that app now, right? No, it's not Instagram where um, um, it's only open to your close friends. It's open to the public for their review and how they take it on you. And you guys spoke about the impact that it has had on you. Do you think that this content creation on LinkedIn is it really helping the corporate in any way, or is it because people speak about a lot of things, we are just mentioning things that we know of, or that we follow so many creators ourselves, and they speak of so many things have come in the forefront, like what happened with that 18-hour scenario when LinkedIn blew up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah, so now the point is that there were so many difference in opinions. Now there was a PR article that said the most hated man on LinkedIn, and he's gotten a lot of PR, and he spoke of how he got so many leads and conversions after. So do you really think that it's become a medium for a lot of companies to set their culture straight, make some changes? So when you say influencer, do you think the influencers are influencing the corporate world in any way? Good or bad? Both. Like.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a, how would I put it? It's a bit of a loaded question. Okay. If you look at most company pages on LinkedIn, they're the same damn boring pages.
Yeah.
Okay. What they're putting up on their Facebook and Instagram is what is getting mirrored on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, guys, don't hold me for it. This is just my random opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not some number cruncher, media cruncher. Just based on observation, including my own clients who are on LinkedIn. I know what they're doing, right? I think where the difference happens is if you have a slightly influential brand owner who has his or her own voice on the media. So if you take, say, for example, Kunal Shah, or if you take Bombay Shaving Company's Deshpande, right?
Yeah.
So they are slightly if you look at it, they're slightly eccentric. There's a little bit of a sort of a idiot gene in them. And I'm using those two words very carefully. I like it. I mean, I personally like it. I like the fact that they're willing to rock the boat. But they overshadow then technically what the company tone of voice is, or what the corporate tone of voice is, or should be ideally in that circumstance, right? So what's happened with the Deshpande tweet, the 18-hour tweet, for example, it's got Bombay Shaving Company into the radar of people who would have never heard of it. Now, if you go to Bombay Shaving Company, it's the same damn shaving ads which they're putting up, same damn shaving creators there. There's nothing which is rocking the boat there. He's rocking the boat because he is that kind of a person, right? So I think content creation is essentially, I think where LinkedIn is becoming different is you're seeing people with a unique voice creating a unique for or against their stance. People in the middle are not going to make any difference, to be honest. And again, I don't care whether they make a difference or not. I'm just saying in terms of these idiotic metrics we put, vanity metrics, virality and impact and engagement and 10x and fucking knows what all, I'm just saying from being a student of what I'm seeing on LinkedIn, the misfits, the Apple ad, right? The misfits are the ones who will sort of create that buzz, even for a corporate. I don't think the usual corporates are going to be much affected. In fact, I think 99% of all LinkedIn posts just pass like a ship in the night, without anyone seeing them. It's just that little bit of thing that sticks out, and it's usually the controversial stuff or something which somebody else has commented on, which makes it more controversial. So it's like a snowball effect, right? By and large, the big hitters will get the big hits. So even the advertising biggies, I don't want to take one particular person's name here because he'll kill me for it, but you know who I'm talking about. The big daddy on the advertising side from India, who's not in the advertising side from India. That's enough of a hint now. So he will obviously get hits on his profile. He's got like what 200,000 followers there. Yeah. He puts a thought out there and he'll get 200 likes on it, right? So it really depends a lot on. So the personal branding part, I don't believe there's any shit called personal branding, but I do believe there is a personality behind you, and people like that personality or are attracted. Like people are attracted to Jeffrey Dahmer also, right? So you might be Jeffrey Dahmer on LinkedIn, man. You'll still get 100 followers if you're what you're doing on LinkedIn is exciting some people. And that's the same for corporates. It's sort of mirrors to a corporate as well. So that's my limited point there.
On the flip side, there's a lot of bland shit. Okay. The bland shit attracts flies like shit, right?
Correct. Very true.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I see is if you have something there which doesn't need you to use your mind too much, right? It is just that flow, right? Then you have all the people flocking to it. Okay. Some of the guys with a lot of followers, right? Followers or whatever stuff, right? And who just get likes like in the millions, right? Or thousands or whatever shit. It's not substantial stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Moment you put something which needs a little bit of intellectual rigor to understand, to work it out, right? Then you don't get the likes.
That's true. I totally agree with it.
Totally. So if there's a picture, like that's the new bait, right? You put like a random picture of yourself and I don't know, someone puts like tattoos and shit. And then they write like
it's not just that. See, again, people talking about personal branding with selfies with no relation to personal branding. What is personal branding at the end of the day? Fucking hell, man. Tell me that. Personal branding means your point of view, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Where is your point of view if you're putting a selfie and somebody else's quote? Where is your point of view if you're putting shit there with flies stuck on it and saying this is what I think? And that's not personal branding. You're putting a Mark Twain quote and a halter neck selfie of yourself and thinking that's personal branding. Fuck you, man. Go to hell. You're just screwed the whole shit up, completely. That'll definitely get you 1,000 likes and 1,000 followers every day. Like I said at the start, I don't care. Is it giving me any reference point, any difference to my life? Zilch. So, but like Manoj said, very true. Droves of people getting affected and saying, "Ha, agree you." So but not my circus, not my monkey, not my circus, for sure.
No, so in fact, I would say that there are three broad kind of people I've identified on LinkedIn. And there's certain formula which is going on over there in terms of either post controversial nonsense or either you post some inspirational bullshit. Now, these are the two broad kind of posts, at least I am seeing on my feed these days. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, even if I'm browsing, and this is a marked difference I've observed. So, during the pandemic, when people were starting to post and everything, it's like there was a lot of value that I was gaining from LinkedIn in terms of content, where I was really gaining knowledge in terms of, okay, this is something that I did not know about. Then it seems that everyone just ran out of all the value they had, and now they had to push some content on LinkedIn, and now we only see a lot of hogwash on it. And as a step that I have taken, personally, I've just stopped posting for the sake of posting, like that whole I don't know, I don't know if you guys agree or not, I just don't like to be enslaved by any medium or anything. Like, it's almost like you have to post consistently every day, ताकि आपको इतने likes मिले, इतना engagement मिले, इतना ये हो. I am like कि मैं क्यों रोज content बनाऊं यार? I don't need to do that. If I'm making content, I will make content when I want to make content on my terms. I don't want to chase that virality or anything. Yeah, if I'm posting something, if there's some truth to it, then I post. If there's some knowledge in it, then I will post. Or if there is something which needs to be pointed out glaringly so, then I will write about it. Otherwise, I have consciously taken. मैंने बीच में actually शुरू किया था. In the middle, ना, I had started this some again, as Shanti mentions, influencer or personal branding expert said कि यार आप अपना खुद का hashtag निकालो. Come up with your own hashtag and post with that so that people will follow that hashtag and everything. And I don't know what drunk stupor we were in. We came up with this hashtag called Rule of J, which again I don't know how we came in. Don't ask. And then ek do post kiya, it got some traction and everything. And after that, it just died down. And the only memory of it that remains is my farewell gift from Shebang, where they have made a meme out of it. Rule of J karke. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, long story short, there are three kinds of people who have no opinion of their own, people who have an opinion but are too scared to put out their opinion, and people who are too opinionated. Now I think the people who have no opinion, they will post or reshare some motivational forwards or inspirational nonsense. People who have an opinion but are too scared to will put out facts, figures, metrics, and this business went from this to this in no time, all that kind of stuff. And people who are opinionated might put out certain things which may seem controversial unless you know the truth of it.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. And people now, all of them, by the way, this thing that you're talking about, like the hashtag, they also have like content calendars in place, man. Like someone actually
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? And he's like, you to create a content calendar for yourself for LinkedIn. And that's a commitment. That's a
there is a I mean, there are enough and more people out there who will give you the manna to heaven and the formula to the hydrogen bomb. Okay, but I increasingly get this feeling it looks like an MLM scam now. That multi-level marketing scam. So there's this top pyramid guy who's earned $1 and he or she has now given his yarn, and then that thing goes down below, and a 25-year-old picks up some strand from there and starts saying, oh, I can talk like this, So this is me now. And then that MLM further gets, but what's happening? The minions down are getting the least amount of money, actually. They're getting sucked into it. So it's just becoming an MLM. So somebody like Justin Welsh posts something on 5 things to do with Notion, for example, and then there's this 20-year-old kid saying Notion has helped me earn this much money in the last month.
Yeah.
I've earned this much money.
But yeah, to each his own.
Yeah, but my thing is like, everyone wants to do something. Okay. Yeah. Everyone wants to make a quick buck. If I get a chance to make a quick buck, I will make a quick buck.
Exactly.
So it's okay. Let them do whatever they want, right? I mean, as long as everyone does whatever they want, I am cool, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? You have this person who's posted his heavy duty thing, like, I write copy when I'm not writing copy, I dance on music, all of that, which is cool. I mean, if that's what it helps you sleep better at night, go for it. Right?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's thanks for sharing your opinions. for the first segment. We have a second segment. So this is more personal, guys, because obviously you've also been chosen. Whatever your point of view on LinkedIn is, the thing is that people really do relate to US people. They were very excited when the teaser was shared and they spoke about oh my God, they're sending me personal messages. I'm so excited to see all of them, this and that. So people really do like you for whatever you share, right? So this is just a fun part. It's a fun segment. It's called Two Truths and a Lie. What I'm going to do is each one of you has to give two truths and a lie, and the others have to obviously guess. We'll also create this is for the off cut, like a small thing where this can become a part of one of the teasers. So each of you, two truths and a lie, just to get to know you better and have some fun, and don't not turn this into like a influencer hating influencer conversation.
I have only likes here. It's tough to think of truths, but yeah, let me.
We don't know anything. We can just guess. That's all.
Jai, go ahead, man. I'm still thinking.
Even I am thinking, man. I am thinking कौन से truth पहले बाहर रखूं मैं यहाँ पे. I don't know which truth to put out here.
Sorry, no Hindi. Otherwise, Jonam.
Sorry. Hey, Manoj, don't mind, Baba. I switched to Hindi in no time. It's a conscious effort I'm making.
All of you just start talking in Hindi, then I won't know what to do.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
One of us will make up for it by speaking in English. So don't worry.
Okay.
The others will make up. Okay, let's think.
I can.
You start with Simble. You start with.
Very nice, huh? Very nice. I was just hoping someone. I'm also thinking. No, I've just made.
But you've done this so many times. You should have a lot of truths and a lot of lies ready here. What is this?
I changed the segments, and this is the only one which is I'm specifically for you guys.
Okay, very good.
सारे creative.
Moral dilemmas you give us, okay?
The creative बंदे यही है ना सारे.
Yeah, okay, I'll try. I don't know. So I'll tell you two truths and a lie. There are three things. One, I am a copywriter. Again, a copywriter, not copies writer. Copywriter. Okay. Second, I have jumped a lot of agencies. And three, I am single.
Oh my God! I just know the lie.
I know the lie also, unfortunately.
Jonam guesses.
See, that's what happens is that the deadline कम रखोगे ना यार.
Yeah, एक सेकंड ऊपर से कुछ ऐसे बोलो ना मतलब तीसरा वाला तो भर के इंस्टाग्राम पे ठीक है प्लीज.
But it's a private account, no.
Okay, sorry. Okay. But I think you also know. Jonam, which one is a lie? Can you guess?
That he is a copywriter.
You're right. Exactly.
You got it.
I mean, this has made Jonam's night. Yeah. He's like, that's it, I'm done, man. Woo! Like, bang. Go. Okay, Jonam, you go now. Time for me to hit the dart, Go.
I can read Hindi. I have done my Pratyam, Madhyam and Bodh.
Okay. The fuck is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was fired from an agency in half a day.
Okay.
That feels like a truth.
That really feels like a truth. What's the third one?
Third, did he say all three?
Yeah.
Hindi?
अरे वो सत्यम मध्यम बोध भी कुछ था ना.
Hindi, no?
वो समझ नहीं आया वो था क्या?
I can read Hindi.
Okay.
I was fired from an agency in half a day.
Got that, yeah.
Right. And
See, you said only two.
did I? I think I
Yeah.
had
You said patto something, I don't know. That was part of the Hindi thing, was it? Anyway, okay.
And I have a dog.
You have a dog, we know that because you said that in the you said you left your parents and the dog, right?
Okay. No, he didn't.
अरे he cannot read his Hindi. That's a lie. The first thing is a lie.
You mistook my dad for a dog. I said my mom and dad.
I'm sorry.
Oh God.
Sorry. To my feminism. Okay. So you can't read Hindi, right?
I said I can't read Hindi.
You can read Hindi, na? So that's
Arey, so we are saying you can't read Hindi, so I can't read Hindi is a lie.
a lie.
Is what?
No, that's the truth.
No.
You
I
can.
read. I've done my Pratyam Madhyam Bodh. How will I know Pratyam Madhyam Bodh if I don't know
We
how to
don't
read
know
Hindi?
that. Do you know that Pratyam Madhyam Bodh?
I have no clue.
Prekshak and Praksham. Something
I
like that.
think someone taught him some other language saying it's Hindi and he's
Arey, he has just gone to Delhi. He must have caught a school kid and उसको पूछा भाई बेटा CBSE में क्या पढ़ा था बताओ and उसने बोला प्रत्यम मध्यम बहुत तो चिपका रहे हैं अभी यहाँ पे.
This is some Gali one of his Delhi clients has given him here. To Pratyam Copy दिखेगा.
Okay, the lie is I wasn't fired from an agency in half a day. I quit it in half a day.
Oh.
we
So
were
much.
Oh.
that you were fired. You must have said some Pratyam Madhyam both there and then gotten fired in half a day. That's the
That's the lie.
that was we were pretty. Nobody scored on that one. Okay.
Me, I still have to go my no.
What did you say? You
I haven't said anything, no? Yet. I think.
No.
You
How?
said.
What I said.
You said no कि वो हिंदी वाला. You also I think voiced along with us कि हाँ हिंदी.
Yeah. No, this is
So
All
accurate.
I said Hindi.
But seriously, you have done pratyam madhyam both. Sorry.
No, so my mom, right? My mom had done her Hindi MA and all of that, BA or something. So she was like pretty vehement about sending me to these extracurricular Hindi classes. In
Oh. Okay.
I used to go play football and then learn Hindi. I mean, I had some exciting stuff
You
happening.
wrote Hindi in English, is it? That's why you don't know Hindi? You wrote
No,
Hindi
yeah.
in English.
No, so Hindi I learned, right? I can understand, I can speak. But because of being in Bangalore and the place where I stay, right, doesn't have too many Hindi people. It's predominantly Tamil, Kannada, and the Anglo people, right?
No.
So,
Yeah.
so therefore, that's the thing with Hindi,
Cool.
So
And
basically,
my-
just over the years, you are out of practice.
out of practice. And the peeve with Hindi is it's being forced on us. That's all. That's my peeve. People coming and telling you it's the national language, right?
That is incorrect. It's not the national language.
It's not a national language. Shouldn't be, even if it's considered to be. Should be one of the languages. That's it. Anyway, we'll get killed now by somebody.
हाँ मतलब मेरा घर के बाहर पत्थर अभी कांच तोड़ के पत्थर आएगा अंदर.
हाँ, मैं तो क्रिश्चियन भी हूँ. मैं तो सबसे पहले पिटूंगी.
I know. Would you wearing the headband? Man?
I am circumcised also.
हाँ, अरे बाप रे. Okay, too much details.
Okay, quickly moving on, guys. Shanti, you have two truths and a lie.
My three were two truths and one lie. No, I played cricket with Sachin Tendulkar. I have played cricket with Vinod Kambli, and I have played cricket with Amol Muzumdar. Two of them are truths, one of them is a lie.
You have played cricket with Amol Mazumdar.
Okay, fantastic.
Sachin Tendulkar.
No. Tendulkar and Kambli are the truths. Mazumdar is the false. The
You
lie.
played cricket with them.
Yeah, I'm a Shivaji Park boy. I was born and brought up in Shivaji Park. Shivaji Park right outside my home in Bombay. I played cricket till under 19, pretty much almost till under 19 Bombay level, and played with Tendulkar and Kambli in one team.
What stopped you from becoming a cricketer then?
Beer. I put on weight. I put on 20 kilos in 2 years, and then I couldn't bat or bowl for my life. But before that, I was no. I just basically. Too much competition in Bombay in those days, man. I mean, you had Tendulkar and Kambli already in the damn Indian team by then. Yeah. Who would give you a chance? Yes, seriously.
So that wasn't a guess. That was a very educated guess.
Why was that an educated guess, Baba? You're very educated by them.
Because you
It was a
said,
guess.
no, see, Sachin and Tendulkar, Sachin when you say like too big a name to be lying about, and Kambli, then I said, okay, playing together. Same
Yeah, they're
place.
contemporaries, yeah. Muzumdar is Muzumdar is also contemporary, but he was a bit younger, you're right.
For me, basically, I don't know who the fuck Mazumdar is.
My lack of knowledge.
He's actually the best batsman that never played for India. He's one of the best batsmen that never played for India. Trust me.
What have you answered, Jay? Did you answer? You have to wait for all people to answer, by the way.
Oh, okay.
नहीं, but he just said yes तो पकड़े गए ना, मतलब वो मजूमदार is he just confirmed yes.
Quick gun
Okay,
movement. Quick gun
But
movement.
but to be fair, before the Mazumdar thing was concerned, was confirmed rather by Shanti, I also thought वो सचिन तेंदुलकर वाला थोड़ा सा फेक रहे करके.
हाँ
Okay.
मुझे लगा वही, उसी को मैं जानती हूँ जो सबसे फेमस है, तो वही झूठ होगा. That's
Like I think that symbol, that's because that's the only cricketer we both know. Probably.
That's exactly why.
No, but you know, the thing is, you ask Bombay guys of my vintage about Amol Muzumdar and they'll be raving about him. So yeah, I guess where it's a very Bombay thing of the 70s and 80s cricketers at least.
Yeah.
He was held in very high esteem. Unfortunately, he never made it. But
there's one copywriter also like that, who's very, very good at copywriting, but he doesn't write.
I know.
Who is that? Okay, by the way, Jonam is early. Okay, I'll give you my 2 lies and truth, and then we'll see who wins the round. Though it's almost Jonam because I think he's answered 2 correctly. I have 3 tattoos. I have slapped a colleague. I can speak Spanish.
You can speak Spanish is the lie.
Okay. What about you guys?
Slapped a colleague.
You have 3 tattoos is a lie.
Slapped a colleague is a lie.
Shanti is right. I don't have any tattoos. I have slapped a colleague and I know Spanish. So Shanti gets 1 point and Jonam gets 2 points and Jonam wins and we all lose. So
And it's true hashtags, man.
What do you win?
Jonam,
What do you win? Good one.
what do you win?
What do I win?
Congratulations. That's what you win. और हिंदी में
कॉफी हैम्पर नहीं है यहाँ पे.
मेरे पास करण जोहर का बजट नहीं है, ठीक है, बाय द वे. तो कि मैं अभी बोलूंगी turn on the Jaguar lights and then I ask you questions.
Jaguar lights. Somebody's been watching the program also. Very good.
हाँ, I do watch it. You get
from
cringe.
LinkedIn. No, everyone is a winner.
Oh my God. Yeah, hashtag that's your inspiring story. Everyone is a winner is where you start from.
Everyone is a winner.
That's true. Oh my God, guys. यार guys, let me move forward, okay? ये 2 question पे मैं 9 बजा दी almost.
There's a worm. You know which worm has got segments? Do all worms have segments? Or do only tapeworms have segments?
I don't know. I've not counted the segments, but yeah. I have orange segments I count. There are 9 of them, but I don't know about worms.
I wanted to make a cartoon of a super tapeworm, right? So you just take off from your mouth. You save the world and then come back.
Shit. I think you must be liking films like Human Centipede, no?
Yeah, oh God. Last one is basically that segment which says "To kya ukhada." So that's just like you guys end may just like a closing line sort of a thingy.
What a
Okay?
hook. Okay.
So you have spoken of how your experience on LinkedIn has been like. So for these new people who call themselves influencers and who give a lot of personal branding tips and who write copy, right? What do you guys do you have something to say to them, or as a platform, do you think it's because you guys also spoke of like how people appreciate you, what you've written? I have personally also gotten a lot of leads from LinkedIn, so it's not that what they're writing it's in vain. People do get it helps in networking. It's a professional platform after all, and I think that's why a lot more people are getting attracted to it, because unlike an Instagram, here when you get even small amount of fame, you get some sort of conversion of it. Maybe you get like connected to the right people who can get you a job, you can get you the work, etc. So as a closing line, as a creator, because I'm sure people are also going to listen to this to understand that do you have something to share with them, as a creator who intends to be more authentic, more effortless, more relevant. I'm picking it from the words that you spoke of, or the things that you guys discussed during the entire conversation. What as a parting line or thought, what would you like to say to them?
Don't be desperate.
Okay.
I mean, I would just say that the only reason being that, you said, no, it's just that I feel that desperation has crept into the entire process. Whether you think about, you see a post, and I'm sure all of you here, when you see a post, कि मजबूरी में लिखा है कि it's something that has some sort of relevance to it. So that is one. Don't write something just for the sake of writing something. And the desperation has gotten to such an extent that people are copying each other's posts, and that Uber driver has cried 10,000 times by now. That neighbor auntie who started her business has also become a billionaire 10,000 times by now. So, I'm saying that all just don't do that, and try to put something across which has some value in it. And in that process, don't lose your voice. I think also it's to do with this. Also means another thing. When I say don't be desperate, is also that don't be desperate to one, gain the following, but second is also don't be desperate to join this whole corporate bandwagon where you want to look smart and you want to try to be smart. So you're using a certain language which has a lot of keywords, jargons, and you can make out कि इसको he doesn't know what he's speaking about, he or she, but it's just posting for the sake of posting. So try to keep your language simple. If anything we are to learn, I don't know, as much as we might like him or hate him, there's a writer called Chetan Bhagat who did a very simple thing which he started doing, which was, I will write in very simple language so that people across the country can understand what I have written. And today I am working with a lot of authors, but till date I have not seen an author who's as recognized as he is. So I would say that that's one thing to just keep in mind, as it has to do with writing overall.
Yeah, so I have no problem with people using LinkedIn the way that they're supposed to. It's a democracy, it's their process, it's their platform, right? I think where my sort of beef lies is that don't fucking fool people into believing that's a process. You're really causing harm, because what's happened is I get a lot of people on DM to me because they reach out saying that, what do you think? And unfortunately, I think what's happened there is that what there's a little bit of an echo of what Jay said. There's a little bit of desperation that's coming. My life doesn't depend upon LinkedIn. My bread and butter doesn't depend upon LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of people it does, right? So I'm being empathetic to that part of the audience where you have to build a personal brand, because people don't have access to work. Maybe they don't have that many opportunities. Maybe a lot of writers are without jobs. So I do get this whole sort of zeitgeist that's happening about people getting on LinkedIn or Medium and then using LinkedIn to sort of proliferate their own skills, right? I have no problems with that. It's your rosy roti chalana hai, karo, no problems. The problem lies in people who are actually successful, who are not good writers. I'll be very honest and frank about that. I think some of the bigger influencers, that hate that word, but the bigger writing influencers out there are terrible writers. I see their posts, they're grammatically incorrect, they're shit, they stink from a mile away. But the following they get and people believing that that's the that's the kind of thing that is going to make their life different. I'm sorry, I don't buy that shit at all. You want to become a better writer, you can't be taught. Number one, no, I believe you can't be taught as a writer. I've done about 15 workshops myself this year, right? Free workshops, and I've got about 30-40 people coming every time. So I've actually interacted with 600 people this year, young people. And I've told them the same thing. I said, I'm not here to teach you writing, Baba. I can't teach you writing. What I'm here to teach you is understanding where this creative mind is coming from, where it has to go, what are the pitfalls. There's no template at the end of the day. So I think people who are following influencers blindly are really causing harm to themselves. I have no problems per se with whatever everyone is doing. I will cock a snook at whoever I feel like. But if it gets to a point where I feel it's really bad, where it sort of is actually detrimental to what we feel should be done, I will voice it. I've done it a couple of times. But I'm mindful of the fact of my own frailties as a writer. And who am I at the end of the day? I'm not your father. So why the fuck should I have a very, very skewed opinion about anything? Right? It's your life. Do what you want with it. But Yeah, caveat emptor at the end of the day. You're an adult now. You're 18. You can vote. You can drink. You can fuck. Same way, take your decisions on LinkedIn and do what the fuck you want to do. But don't blame the world and if something goes wrong, because the world is, some part of the world is telling you, that this is kuch to fishy hai. So fish ka smell jano, yeah. You understand where the fishy smell is coming from and move on in life. Rest, do whatever the fuck you want. Everyone should do what the fuck they want on LinkedIn. That's the best way to be on LinkedIn. It's social media at the end of the day. Simple.
But do you think it's so, because you spoke of people pretending to be something that they are not, which is, and I think the worst affected is writing, because everyone somehow feels that they are a writer. It just comes so easily to them, the word. Do you think that's blurring the boundaries?
And now there are courses also for that.
I'm coming to the courses part. In fact, that's the problem. See, what's happened is that you have genuine writers who have got some amount of traction, who are now being entrapped by edtech companies who don't know the shit of what they're doing, right? They don't know their ass from their elbow. And they're now packaging these courses and selling it to these unsuspecting minions, like it's some holy water. And unfortunately, I don't blame the creator who's part of it, because, he or she will have his own compulsions. And I hope he or she does a good job with whatever their job is, right? But I think the greed, that corporate machine greed, which has suddenly seen, yahan pe FOMO hai, let's monetize this FOMO,
Yeah.
I think that's where I don't like that bit. I personally don't like it. Not that like I said, it's everyone's life. But personally, I think there are red flags there. There are plenty of red flags there which shouldn't be ignored. Because what's going to happen is, I think Manoj knows this, right? Try getting a good writer today into your team. Even Jay would know this.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to get a good young writer in your team, because they're all, I don't know what's happening, what the next generation is doing technically,
No, so before we go ahead, and sorry, Manoj, for this thing, but I think Shanti, I would just add one thing, that corporate greed has always been a part of our ecosystem. I would just say that I would also blame equally the creator of such courses and everything. As you said, writing cannot be taught, and I don't think that there would be any person who will be able to teach writing. You can this thing, and why I'm saying is also because of the perspective that try getting a good writer in your team. And what I see when I give those copy tests out to people is those hacks that they might have learned in a certain course. That comes into the copy test. They will try to write an absolutely weird headline which doesn't make sense at all. That kind of stuff. So I am like, you are undoing a certain process. See, generally, if let's say there was no course to begin with, what would that person do? He would go online, he would research. There, he might find a book, like how I found it. I don't know about you guys, but how I found it, I got recommended this lovely book called Hey Whipple Squeeze This, which is written by Luke Sullivan. I read it till date. Every new edition comes out, I'm reading it. And I basically just started watching good ads, started seeing good ads, started following the festivals and everything, and that's how I kind of picked up on my writing and tried to improve it. Of course, there are some other experiences also which have a lot of role to play in it. But when you are forcing a certain way of this is the right way to write, that is becoming a bit of a problem. Like everything is like ye hook chahiye, isme start with the hook, then end with this, then write in a pointer system so that people this thing, get people to click on see more so that you get more engaged. All this nonsense that I have been hearing is bothering me a little. That's all I would say.
No, my perspective is, see, do whatever you want. Okay. But the world is watching. Right. That's one thing. Right. And the second thing is, what happens when these guys coming to the courses, right? You have dime a dozen courses. Okay. It's done by the same kind of people. Right. And you have this dime a dozen, make how to make ads. This one, right? So everything just becomes templatized, right? And for whatever thing, right? I love this industry, which is why I've been in this industry for so long, right? I've seen a lot of people quit, move, complain, all of that, right? But I've been in this industry and I trip off on doing a leaflet. Till today, I roll my sleeves up and do that leaflet because I want to do that leaflet, right? So, I mean, if you're going to enter an industry, you might as well love it. Or if just making money is your thing, there are a lot of ways to make money, right? And another person had asked me something like, I want to write copies, right? That was literally what she said. How do I go about it? So I told her, like, see, what does a plumber do when he wants to learn plumbing? He goes and joins a master plumber. He watches that plumber work. He takes up small projects under the guidance of that plumber. If you don't do that plumbing work properly, that master plumber will hit you on the head and tell you do it this way. Right? You learn the process and then you see other plumbing. Probably you're fascinated with the fountain, which is cool, right? Which is where your award shows and all of that come. But the foundation, right? If that is not right, then you're royally screwed. And we see the result of that day after day in the ad. We see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? We see crap
coming out. Really, it's true because see, I think Manoj and I are almost the same vintage, but the kind of books I used to see maybe 10, 12 years back were far better, in terms of the quality, in terms of the scope of work and the imagination, whatever. Today, everything's routine. It's the same cookie cutter kind of shit that's coming out, and I don't see any individuality in books anymore. I don't see the person anymore. Then you literally have to physically meet the person and hopefully get some vibe out of that person. But I think the worst thing about
this absurd thing, right? Because
it's an absurd thing, exactly.
Yeah, everyone is creating a vibe on LinkedIn.
Correct.
Right? Oh, this person seems to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you meet that person, right?
It's completely different.
It really, really falls short of all the hype and hoopla they have built online there.
Correct. So it's like,
yeah.
Man, are you the same guy? Right? Because you were quoting things and all the aphorisms were there. Aphorisms or whatever you call that, right?
Oh, that's the sad part about it. I mean, I think I totally echo with what Manoj is saying. I think see advertising is a frustrating profession, but it's what is very exciting about that. It is frustrating, right? It's that subjectivity which is there in the equation which makes you love it every day. I don't see that anymore in people. Bombay cricketers used to have this word. They were called most of the Bombay school of cricket. And I go back to cricket in Bombay, is that they had this term called khunnas. There is this Hindi word of khunnas. You'd have to have that khunnas here. Khadus hona chahiye, khadus. That khadus is missing now in people.
That itch, that itch.
That itch is not.
That itch, you want to make that whatever, even if it's a leaflet, right? How can I make that leaflet the best goddamn leaflet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is missing, and hopefully, it's again because everyone's templatizing it, right? Everyone is templatizing it. It's everyone saying do this. Nobody's saying don't do this, right? Be free flowing, whatever. I don't see any of that.
Yeah, I was reading this thing about about especially trends, right? Everyone seems to wants to jump into a trend. I was reading this somewhere which said a trend is like a wave. Right? Choose the right wave to surf on. Don't jump on every wave that's coming there, right? If you choose the right wave, then you can surf. You're jumping on every wave that's coming and you're just getting washed out.
Yeah.
Somewhere it's also to do with, I kind of have some empathy for the junior writers, the ones who are getting, who are being misled through all this. See, the problem is, and I had written about this, that the problem is that they have to turn up so much of volumes. And I'll just give you an example. Like in terms of mainline, I had worked in mainline for a year or two. And in mainline, what I experienced is that, okay, it's one campaign a quarter or, one big campaign a year, which we are working towards. And even the smallest of print ads, or quarter page ad bhi jo hota hai, you are like, I was supposed to turn up at least 10 headlines, and usse kam, if I went to my creative director, he would be like, what are you doing? That is the kind of time also I was given, to be fair, on that particular front. Here, what has happened is, every day I have to turn up a post, and God forbid something topical, something moment marketing, if something happens, I have to churn out a post instantly. So sometimes it's spontaneous, it's fun, it happens. But now when you have to turn out around 100 posts a month on 3 different clients, then that templatization becomes a shortcut, unfortunately so. So I think somewhere that model also needs to be fixed, that the whole scope of work thing that we have, right, which is that, okay, itne post denge for so many lakhs rupees, I'll give you these many posts, these many emailers, these many DVCs, TVCs, whatever you call them, these many reels. That number needs to be worked upon, I think.
Yeah. And I must say, in defense of younger writers, I think I learn a lot from younger writers too. I'm not saying that they're all wrong.
No.
They're seeing the media in the way that they have been brought up on this media, not us, right? So obviously they know a few tricks and tips which really work. So that's why I'm actually for it. But the thing is, it's just that blind leading a half blind man leading the blind, you know.
Exactly.
It's getting too confused, too grey right now.
So see, one more thing is, right? So this whole load of social media posts and all of that, right? I'm saying, instead of dumping the whole thing on the youngsters, right?
Yeah.
Just because of your sheer experience, right? You can write 5 or 6 social media posts which are far superior, just because of experience, right?
Right.
So why can't the older people also spend some time on that? It is a little taxing because you will have to do all the other shit also. But then, as a senior person, you got to be a mentor also.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
You have to be a mentor.
No, so I'll just say that Manoj, the older people are in fact spending time on writing those posts as well. The only thing that is happening is, out of, let's say, 30 or 40 odd posts which go on in a month on a brand, even if, let's say, there's time that one person, any one senior person removes to write those 5-6 posts or whatsoever, then unfortunately that becomes a template.
Yeah.
You're getting what I am saying. It's just that, okay, let me do it this person's way, which is the biggest fear for a creative person, or at least a senior. I don't want people to do things my way. I want them to develop their own originality. So you don't want that to become a template. The biggest thing being this whole topical thing, right? 1 or 2 topicals you write and it goes berserk, then it becomes a template. Ki, acha, haan, ye kar lenge, to ye ho jayega. But that is no formula, unfortunately.
If you're seeking validation for your talent on social media, you're fucking yourself up in the head. Your validation for your talent should come in reality, which is either from the agency that takes you out or the client that gives you work. Unfortunately, it's become like, I am this on social media, hence I'm validated.
Yes.
Fuck you. Please. You're disrespecting your own skills. You're disrespecting your own talent by doing that. And I'm putting that out there right now because it's just, you're sounding fake. Don't do it. As simple as that. What is there to prove on social media? What do you need to prove on social media? Prove it in the real world. If you have 5 clients, you're getting paid 3 crores, why do you need to come on social media and talk about it? I will make that 6 crores in real life. Yeah? I will use that time to making another 3 clients who are paying me 3 crores. So I'm saying it's just silly. It's that whole thing is, it's just Pied Piper and rats following. It's crazy.
I don't think you can compare mainline to digital. The working is very different. And to your point, Jay, that you said that it's the template has to be followed, because I feel somewhere down the line the client also starts expecting that from you. You deviate from that, you give him something completely different. They they're like, no, oh my god, I can't, no, this is not what I okayed on. So I think and because the time is so less every month, the feedback time, the posting time is so less that you have to do with the first thought. You don't get the luxury to sit on it for hours or days.
That's
That's
exactly my point. That's why that number needs to be worked on, is what I'm saying, Simple. I'm not at all comparing.
Absolutely.
I agree with both of you. What I'm saying is this is not clutch brake accelerator. No, you're not. It's not a drive. It's not driving a car. The car changes every day. The road changes every day. No, your clients.
If you're following,
so how can you have a clutch brake accelerator template for everything? It doesn't work that way.
Just to add over there what Shanti is saying, if you're following a template, be very, very mindful that you are following a template, and that is not. That doesn't qualify you as a master writer. Probably you're doing well with that brand or with that client or the person on the client side. You're managing the client well. You're not managing the audience well with that.
Absolutely, and you're not being fair to your craft. So I think the craft is because of the whole online.
But what I'm seriously considering, and I wanted to put this on the table. There are people who are earning 13 crore rupees by being a personal brand. My clients in my history have not billed 13 crores, man. If these are MNC clients, don't bill 13 crores. Where the
Hey,
fuck
what is this thing called craft you're talking about?
Craft cheese we're talking about.
I'm saying consistency has kind of corrupted the craft basically.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
And because they never, so these personal branding tips, they never tell you to practice something behind the scenes. They just ask you to keep posting, right? So you never know what you're putting there is the right thing, wrong thing. Nobody's there, like there's no check there anyway, right? So whatever you put, people love it because people don't give a fuck about the craft or how it's written or anything. They're like, acha, oh, I should post 5 times a day. Great. Let me like this. वो क्या लिखते हैं? वो commenting for better reach लिखते रहेंगे नीचे. So I'm just saying that they just know that if I don't have to put any efforts, I just have to come here every day, post and continuously keep doing that. It'll work for me. It'll fetch me clients. It'll get me a lot of money. Then why should I go to the age-old ways of working on myself and my craft and getting feedback?
See, there is money. You will earn your crores in IPL, but you still have to play cricket good enough for a test match level also.
But as Lau said,
the amount of skill and the amount of effort is the same. You'll earn more money in the IPL.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that you can't say that I'm going to earn so much money without putting the effort behind it. Yeah. So they make it seem so easy. So, client bhare bags leke pade mere piche yaar.
हाँ.
but as Lao Tzu said,
Where was he when all this right?
but as Lao Tzu said, why so serious?
Yes, why so serious?
Why so serious? I think that's the ending line. I know that you guys have Saturday and you guys have plans. And this extra 20 minutes, I'll put in the extended version of the podcast because
director's cut.
Yes, director's cut. So thank you so much for doing this, guys, and taking out time on a Saturday when you could be doing anything else. And yeah, it was great.
Thank you for inviting us. And good to be. I mean, it's
Okay.
while I really hope and pray that you get your 10x engagement and your views and everything. But I think what you're doing is quite nice. I don't think we have something like this in advertising, especially where people in advertising are talking as much. So I think it's a brave thing you are doing, and let's see more people up here soon.
So guys, firstly, great to catch up with three of you. It was good to put a face to the. And it was great fun, and yeah, fuck you now, go drink, enjoy.
Enjoy a drink.
Saturday, man. Let's not make this work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, Manoj. Bye, Shanti.
Bye.
Bye, Manoj. Thanks, guys. See ya. Good night.